said, wow, I wish I could be a kid again. With the competition for Best in Show, many kids are growing up way too fast. Parents choose private schools even before a child is born. Kids are enrolled in college prep classes in elementary school, and they do it all while playing football, soccer, and don't forget the violin lessons. Growing up too fast can have major effects on learning and development. Here to help us more and steer parents and kids back on track, please welcome psychologist Dr. Gail. Hello there. It's all about striking that healthy balance, but there are a couple of things that happen. Sometimes parents project onto their children what they want, and other times you just want your child to be successful.
Yes, there are many reasons for this, but you know, many times we are stressed for success ourselves, so we stress our children the way we stress ourselves, then our children develop the same stress problems that we have. They can't sleep at night, they get ulcers, they wet the bed, anxiety, test anxiety, and so the very things that parents do to their children to make them successful are the very things that make them underachieve. And they reach a plateau at around the 5th grade, and at that time, they start to this stress starts making its way into their consciousness, and then they get test anxiety, they start regressing, they may start wetting their bed again, they have headaches, stomach aches.
Yeah, even in cases where like a child will bring the homework home and do it, but never take it back to the classroom.
Right.
So,
or start daydreaming.
Yeah.
And so really, and there are reasons parents do that. Parents themselves are insecure, they don't value themselves, so they don't value their children in the same way that they should. They're not bonding with their children because they're out working all day and not compensating at night. And you know, at the end of the day...
But the so-called tiger mom will argue with you and say, don't value my children, look what I'm doing, I'm giving up my life for my child.
That's right, and she is. She's projecting her life onto her child. But her child deserves her life, or his life. And at the end of the day, free play, creative play. You know, we look at Einstein. Everybody always points to Einstein as the superior being in our
mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And in one calendar year, he wrote 3 major papers. Those papers got him, won a Nobel Prize. We have now, you know, the theory of relativity. We have gravity, energy. All this came from 1 year of working in a patent office because he couldn't get a good career because he was playing hooky from school so much, and so from his university, so he got a poor career in a patent office.
It's interesting, he was a poor student, but turned out to be one of the greatest teachers.
He wasn't really a poor student. He was just an absentee student.
Okay.
He was so brilliant, he was bored. Yeah, that's right. So he got this job in the patent office, and he was finished in 2 minutes, and then he stared out of the window for the rest of the day, thinking creatively, and that's how you got those 3 major papers that changed the world.
All right, so we overschedule our children, we go crazy with our children. Again, we talked about with some of that's the projection and the whole bit. The problem is on the back end, sometimes you get that child that you might say is successful, but oftentimes they're going to go through some stuff before they get there. Let's take a look at Miley Ray Cyrus, not the average kid by any means, but...
Let's compare her to Britney Spears. Crash and burn. A lot of these young stars, we all know these young stars, they're pressured, and then they're used to this narcissistic attention, and then suddenly they crash and burn because they may not be able to think of the next thing to get them more attention. What's the next thing that I can do? Can I walk around naked? Can I cut my hair off? Shave my head? What can I do to stay in the limelight? Now we have Miley Cyrus, and she looks like an anomaly. We're thinking, what has she become, a sex maniac? But actually, I don't think she's crashing and burning. I think she's calculated and manipulating, and I think she's just finding that next way to expand her career. But on top of that, that little girl that we saw, Hannah Montana, was not really Miley Cyrus. That's what we as the public need to know. That was an actor playing Hannah Montana. Miley Cyrus was raised, and however she was raised, allowed her at this stage of her life to get very involved in drugs, to become very much of an exhibitionist, and
it looks
very
rebellious.
It looks rebellious, but it's very narcissistic.
So she's like in control because before she felt like she was out of control.
That's right. When
somebody else controlled her.
When children are young with these very controlling parents, they feel out of control. So what are they looking for? They're looking for a sense of control. So when they get out of their parents' control, they become controlling. The problem is, when it doesn't work, when it becomes bulimia or anorexia or
Right. So the key is to
shaving your head
guide
like
our children not to take over their lives. And we heard, you know, Chris Hadfield earlier say that he was interested, he wanted to be an astronaut, and his parents facilitated that dream, but didn't push that dream.
The key to childhood is to allow your child to be a child. We have this idea that we have to buy all these toys for our children. Actually, they get very bored with those toys in 2 seconds.
Tell me about it.
You have a closet full. But you take a child, put him in the kitchen while you're cooking, and he takes a pot and he takes a stick and he starts banging and he's got a drum and he's having fun. At the end of the day, children are being pushed to be grown up, but they are crying child. They're not really adults. And at the end of the day, they feel guilty for the provocative things we dress them in. They feel guilty for the places we put them. And they need creative time, downtime to be children.
Well, Dr. Gross, thank you very much, because now I know I can buy my son a cardboard box for Christmas, and he better be happy with it.
And he will be.
And he will be, and he has been. All right, Dr. Gross, thank you very much. She has 7 audio meditation downloads available on her site, including one for free, including one on stress reduction and learning. For more on Dr. Gross and her parenting advice, just log on to greatdayhouston.com and we'll have a link to her site.